I'm alright. Nobody worry about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Can't you just let it be? I'm alright. Don't nobody worry about me. You got to give me a fight. Why don't you just let me be? I'm alright. Nobody worry about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Can't you just let it be? I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. Just let me be. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. Just let me be.
The beginning, sole existence of a chosen dream. But then came pain with energy striking on those she knew would uncover her life. She knew she must destroy everything that we had prayed for. So she sent shame proclaiming her life. She was asked to feel what's going on in her mind. Music takes you round and round and round and round and round. Hold on to the love. Hold on to the love. It takes you round and round and round. But hold on to love. Hold on. Hold on to love. Hold on. Hold on to love.
space. A change has clearly taken place. Looking for the summer. The eyes take on a certain gaze and leave behind the springtime days. Go looking for the summer. This ain't no game of kiss and tell. The implications how you know so well. Go looking for the summer. Come and they must go to play the passion out that haunts you so. Looking for the summer. Remember love, how it was the same. We scratched and hurt each other's growing pain. We were looking for the summer. And still I stand this very day with a burning wish to fly away. I'm still looking for the summer. Looking for the summer.
Hey everyone, this is Jim, and thank you for watching video 1911 as we made our way through the Salt Lake City area and crossed Utah on I-80 West. In case any of you missed the previous video and the director's commentary, we had a tire problem in Provo, Utah the night before. Well, actually not night, it was early evening that it happened, and we had to stay over in Provo as opposed to our targeted destination, which was Wendover, Utah. But we stayed over, and this outstanding dealership, Murdoch, Genesis, and Hyundai in Linden, which is nearby, took great care of us and had us back on the road early in the morning with 2 brand new front tires, and everything has been great since on the trip. This video started shortly after that, after we got the tires done and gassed up and got a few snacks for the long trip, because there really isn't a whole lot between Salt Lake City and Reno, Nevada. And you want to make sure you have enough drinks and snacks. You definitely want to stay hydrated on these hot summer days when you're doing long distance driving. Anyway, I really like Utah, and I like the Salt Lake City area. Utah as a state is beautiful, and I think it's vastly underrated in the general conversation of beautiful states across the country. I also like the Salt Lake area. I think it's very interesting. Love the mountains on one side and the lakes and desert on the other. I just think it's a neat place, and I enjoy driving there. So of all places to get stopped, at least we were, it'd have to be stranded's too strong a word, but at least we were in a general metropolitan area that had a lot to offer. As far as the drive, it was an easy drive once we got out of Salt Lake. As you saw, there were quite a few left lane hogs, and we had to deal with those, and there were also some on Interstate 80 in the early parts before we really got out to no man's land in the Great Salt Lake Desert. But overall, easy drive. It was a fun drive. I'd never driven it this direction in the daylight. Eric and I, my son, in 2013, drove this direction as it was getting dark. So it was kind of neat to see this for the first time, heading west in the really good lighting. And we stopped at Wendover and West Wendover. And as you noticed at the end of the video, we pulled in a McDonald's. And I know some of you foodies out there and food snobs are just gasping about this, but you know what? McDonald's is pretty consistent. You know what you're going to get. And sometimes when you're on the road on a long trip, you kind of want consistency. And I have a theory about McDonald's and other fast food places as well, that when you go to a small town, rural area, the food is likely to be of better quality and you're going to get better service than you do in city and metropolitan areas. This theory has played itself out many times over the years for me, and it's usually a pretty good bet. In fact, we had McDonald's in Fruita, Colorado 2 days before, and it was outstanding, which is a small town out near Grand Junction in western Colorado. So we had a good lunch and then made our way west. We got into Sacramento for dinner, met with a friend, had a great time there, and got to our hotel in Emeryville by about midnight. Emeryville, the Hilton Garden Inn is right at the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, MacArthur Mays interchange. We had a room facing the bridge. It was a wonderful view. So it's a great base for the Bay Area as far as getting around and driving if you're going to have a car and do that. So we got there and everything was fine. As far as this video, I don't do a whole lot of really long videos like this, but I felt that this deserved it. This is a very unique stretch of interstate, and it's got an awful lot of history about it, as I mentioned throughout the video. The Dwight Eisenhower 1919 convoy is especially fascinating. There's books on it and all kinds of articles on it. So if you want to know more, the information's out there to look up and learn more about it. But that convoy itself, 62 days from Washington to San Francisco, probably had a big impact on young Eisenhower and laid seeds for his thinking about the need for good roads and to have a vast network across the country. That, and also what he saw in Germany during World War II, the way the Autobahn was. So definitely an important moment in transportation history in our country, an important event, I should say. Now with these long videos, they're more challenging to make than the shorter 8 to 10 to 12 minute variety, because you're looking at 4 and 5 songs for a soundtrack. You got to make them all kind of make sense together and fit time-wise and tempo-wise. So that's a challenge in itself. And the other challenge with a video like this is to try to keep it interesting. This isn't a video where you've got amazing interchanges and bridges every few miles. There's not a lot to see. The scenery doesn't change, which is why we also went a little faster than normal with the footage being sped up. But the challenge is to keep the viewer's interest, and I hope I was able to keep yours throughout this video. But you got to find some interesting tidbits along the way to keep it interesting and engaging. And like I said, I hope we did that. But I don't do a lot this length, but I can say there's at least one, maybe two more coming this trip that'll be around this length. So hopefully those will turn out good as well. At least I think this one turned out good. I hope you do too. What's next up? The next day we went up to the Redwoods with a good friend, and we didn't do any filming there. Just figured just give it a break. It just wasn't really appropriate to do at that point in time. But the next day in the San Francisco Bay Area, we filmed some in the East Bay, which didn't turn out all that great. The San Francisco area's traffic, and Oakland too, is just notoriously bad. And in the midday, we got caught in a lot of it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that footage yet. After that, we filmed I-80 starting in downtown San Francisco from underneath the Bay Bridge all the way down to San Jose. That I haven't looked at it yet, but I think that might have come out pretty good. So there will be definitely one, maybe two videos coming up from the Bay Area. So you have that to look forward to coming up next. Usually I don't look too far ahead. I kind of finish with one video before I get too involved with another so that I can sort of stay focused. So I wish I had a little more concrete information to give you on that, but I'm going to look at that East Bay footage and see what I can do with it before making a judgment. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for your support. This is the first video I've put together since the 1907 St. Louis video, which was the trip premiere. And so I've gotten some feedback on this segment here where the director's commentary, where I talk about things beyond the actual video or a little more in detail to the video. And so far your feedback's been really good. So I'm glad you enjoyed this segment, and I'll try to keep doing it. I'll try to make it better each time out. If you notice, they're starting to get a little longer than the first one or two were. So we'll find a happy medium for sure here. But again, thank you all for watching and for your support, and we'll see you for the next video.